SMPs are funny. You can talk, build, and PvP with friends or enemies. You can play in a normal vanilla world or in a modified one. And because normal worlds are kinda boring, I wanna show you the best mods for SMPs in today's video. If you're looking for an SMP, me and some other people wanna create an own SMP, and if you want to join, the link is in the description of the channel. But let's start with the first mod that refers to the beginning of the SMP. Sometimes people have full diamond at the beginning and you have nothing. And that's why you can craft stone armor and wood armor now. Stone armor is round about as good as leather, and wood is bad. And of course you can craft the armor out of every type of wood. But the next mod is changing a lot more because it adds origins. That means that you're able to choose an origin. There's 8 of them and each one has its own advantages and disadvantages. And if you've settled on one, you can't change it anymore. If you choose the avian, you take no fall damage and you're quicker. But you need to sleep above Y86. You can't eat any meat and you lay an egg in the morning. Yes. You don't have that many disadvantages if you choose Arachnid, because with this you can climb walls and you aren't stuck in cobwebs. You can just go through them, but you can only eat meat and you have 3 less hearts than normal. Maybe some of you choose that, but there's still the Elytrian. As one of these, you always have an Elytra equipped and you can even put a chest plate on top of it. Also, you can launch every 30 seconds. The problem with this origin is that you can't wear better armor than chainmail, and that is very bad. You could also think of taking the Shulk origin. That makes that you have more slots in the inventory, you take less damage, and the best thing about it is that you can break stone with your bare hand. And although you can't hold a shield and you need more food than normally, this origin is pretty good in my opinion. But if you don't want to be a Shulk, you can be a cat instead. You literally don't take any fall damage, you have permanent night vision, and you scare creepers away. There's also the option to choose Enderian, so that you have infinite ender pearls and you have a longer reach. But of course, like an enderman, you get damage in water and you're scared of pumpkins. So if you like water and want to be in it all the time, hurling is the best option for you, because you can breathe underwater but not on land, and you've like an infinite conduit underwater. The opposite of water is fire, and if you're Blazeborn, you get damage in water, but you have infinite fire resistance and your normal spawn is in the nether. And the last origin is the Phantom. You burn in daylight, but you can walk through blocks and you can be invisible at any time. I think an SMP could be very cool with this mod. You know, there's like the water team or the nether team, and the people with the same origin team up, or maybe there could be one play for every origin on the server. That would be very cool, but which origin would you choose? Tell me in the comments. Of course, origins are not the only thing we want to have in our SMP. More weapons could also be great because they change the gameplay and the mechanics how you would normally play Minecraft. The mod adds 5 new weapons for every material, so wood, stone, gold, diamond, and netherite. There's the dagger that reloads very fast but makes not really much damage. The club makes more damage and the reload time is still pretty good, just like the hammer, but throws enemies in the air. I still want to show you the spear and the quarterstaff. They don't really deal too much damage, but they can change the gameplay. All of those tools can be found in several structures, but of course not the netherite and the diamond one. And I thought a while of showing a mod that contains invisible armor, but I think that's not really fair in an SMP, so I kinda wanna have more armor. And do you remember at the beginning of the video I added stone and wood armor, but what about the other ores like redstone or emerald? They also need armor and tools, and I've got a mod for that. Redstone, emerald, amethyst, quartz, and the mod even adds some ores into the game, like ruby. There's of course an armor for that too. Looks really cool. Imagine you play on an SMP with random people and you just see someone with this armor. You can also make the topaz armor and the sapphire armor. You can find all of these ores in caves, and that also changes the gameplay. Emerald is kind of OP though. The sword makes 10.5 attack damage and emeralds are really not that rare. And although that already changed the gameplay a lot, I want to change it even more. And how is that done better than by adding multiple end bosses into the game? I really don't think that the Ender Dragon or even the Wither are really hard bosses, so it's time to add some really difficult bosses into the SMP. The Ultra Wither replaces the normal Wither, and it has a really laggy movement, kind of like in the Bedrock version, some really strong and interesting attacks, and look at these particles. If it dies, you get this which when you have it in your inventory gives you 2 more hearts, but these bosses can also drop you armor, like the Blaze King, because after a very great fight you get this helmet of fire protection. There are also some easier bosses like the Corrupted Enderman that drops an item that you need for another boss, but guys, it gets even crazier. This boss has its own structure and you can have an epic fight in it. And I think we all know the Giant. Pretty boring, I know, but there's a giant boss in our world now. It spawns zombies, it's kinda hard to fight, and you get these stomp boots if you actually defeat it. The Phantom Swarm is rather annoying because normally 2 of them are enough to make us want to rage quit and all the 4 together, and this Antboss consists out of 20 of them. Holy crap. To turn things better, you really have an epic fight against the Shulker Stone that gives you the levitation effect and is very hard to beat. I think fighting against these bosses together in an SMP could be really funny and it could be very interesting. But I still want to add more mods, and they are about one of the biggest parts of Minecraft, exploring. And what would be better than way more biomes? There are so many new biomes with unique functions, and many people always say that there are too many different types of wood in Minecraft. Well, this mod adds even more. Some biomes are common, some are also really rare, like the canyon. I think the nearest one was on coordinates like 40,000. You could also find the Cypress Forest that gives you a completely new game experience, or the Cypress Swamp. This looks like in a fairy tale actually. You could also think of making a wood farm, and don't forget, in an SMP you could also build your base in a unique biome like this, and that means that there are way more possibilities of building a base, and I'm sure you have enough types of wood to build. You could also think of building your base on this volcanic island biome. Imagine building a house and modifying it with a bit of lava coming down from that volcano. That would be so cool. And I just noticed that there's like a chamber of magma down here with like diamonds and everything. That's actually very realistic. It's actually cool. But you know what's even cooler? The Outback biome. It's such a cool biome. I think it's actually my favorite one so far. You could do a very cool building here. I just love it. And also here. Oh my god, this landscape. It is just awesome. There is a Japanese forest, and this desert biome is also just, it's pretty awesome. Oh my god, I can't even play without that mod anymore. We need to have it in the SMP. But of course the mod also contains some cold biomes. Like, you can't tell me that this isn't a great biome. It looks like Santa's living in there. Santa? Anyways, I think you could do really cool stuff in that biome. I just love how the world overall looks like, and I think with all of these mods added, it would be a perfect SMP. Like I said, if you want to join, just click on the link in the description of the channel. It will lead to our Discord server. If you don't have Discord, just write a comment actually. And please subscribe and like. Yeah.